that statement that describes your uniqueness from others. Strategy does not require people who are shy. You must believe in yourself. You must conquer and appreciate. You must conquer fear and appreciate what you believe in. That is the only thing that makes you unique. And then we said, you need to set goals, which are a long-term objective in 5 years, okay? And these are followed by objectives, which are short-term achievements attainable in one year. If you want to get objectives run very well, you must have daily activities. That's where people set themselves a timetable, okay? That they will follow when others are going by where the wind blows them to, okay? One who is visionary will have exactly an idea of what he wakes up to do on a daily, okay? So having said that, I went back to say goal dimensions of personal development. And I had explained economic goals, I had explained political goals, and I was on the third one, which is family goals. Are we together now? And said family goals are set with the following questions. What kind of spouse do I want? When you are choosing a spouse, there are some pertinent things you must look at. What religion? What is level of education? Which family does this person come from? Okay? What do I look for in a woman, in a husband? This is key. If you do not think about these things, you can crash. Okay? Some people are so lucky that women look at them and admire. Some women are so lucky that every man wants to hit on her. Okay? So, at some level, you can get confused. And with the age, what you regarded as beautiful can turn out otherwise. I have seen it. Recently, I went for my old boys get-together for primary, and I was in shock. I was looking at these mothers turning into grandmothers. And I was like, wait a minute. Is this the so-and-so we used to... But things change, okay? Things change. So anyways, family goals, you must avoid saying, I got this person by a mistake, okay? You know something bothers me about men. You run after this one woman by mistake, okay? You convince her to fall for you by mistake. Okay? You convince her to take her to bed by mistake. You marry her by mistake. You get the first child by mistake. You get the second one by. You get the third one by. Who is actually the mistake? You see what I'm trying to talk about? I have a daughter who got married a few years ago. So her husband got an opportunity to go for a PhD in Germany. So he went in 2020, towards the end of 2022, November. So my daughter joined him in November 17th of 2023. I visited them in November 2024. And when I got there, my daughter was telling me I wanted divorce. I want a what? Then I was like, what happened? You know, Daddy, too much. So I told her point blank, when you divorce this man, you don't come back to my house. Now, after telling her that, I went to the husband. And the husband was telling me, you know now, this and this. Daddy, you need to sit us down and talk to us. I said, no. If you are the husband, you must learn to take full responsibility of your issues. Okay? Because if you are reporting her today, just know she will report you the other day. So are you going to be telling or, showing your linen out to other people? So I told her, identify what your wife wants, what makes her happy. You can't do everything, but pick the pertinent ones and concentrate on those so that she can always have something to remember that makes her keep with you. So we had a talk for about 3 hours because I moved with him from a place called Hanover up to Frankfurt in a train, just talking about his marriage. To and from. So he had enough time with me to rethink. I'm not trying to put out what is happening in my family, but they are the examples I know. Okay? And they are live what? Examples. So not everything that looks rosy is flowery. Okay? And the most difficult time of marriage is that period between the wedding or the dating into 5 years. It is most difficult for both parties. First of all, you get the first child and your wife doesn't want to look at you. She doesn't want to look at you. All through the 9 months into the first 1 year of raising the baby. Whenever she cries, she thinks of how you made her pregnant and bringing her to these problems. So you need somebody who is very patient, isn't it? Somebody who is more than a friend to overlook all that, because as you age, it becomes sweeter. So when you choose marriage, family goals require that even set time for what? For marriage. And what type of marriage? You shouldn't be like these people who throw a big wedding and they forget about the marriage. Because I've seen those. They don't want the marriage. They want the wedding so that their parents declare them married. Then after that, the marriage is no more. So we are saying personal development requires you to think through all that. If you want marriage, what type of marriage? How heavy or small do you want your wedding? Where do you want it? And who should attend? Okay? So family is key. After marriage, there is a level of looking after the kids. Women are fond of taking charge of the children. When you age, The children don't want even to talk to you. A friend of mine was telling me, I can't hold a conversation with my father. Then I was like, why? That guy, the way he raised us. By the time my father passed on, he would come to my house when I had graduated, and he would sleep on the same bed. Okay? Then we talk up to 2 a.m. Then I tell him, dude, I'm going to work tomorrow. And then he says like, okay, you sleep, but anyway, we shall talk. That is how close I was with him. But the way he raised me, I thought he was not my what? My friend. So you need to look at this as you are choosing development with family. You must give your family time. Today's children require a lot of time. Don't say no to homework. She will not pass. If you don't do homework with her, it affects her self-esteem or his self-esteem. These are things you should know as you are setting your personal what? Development. You must create time for your family. Because if you don't, other people will create time for it and you lose it. Okay? So you must create time for your what? I see people who get so busy. Recently, I traveled with some of the so-called rich people in Kampala. I won't mention their names. One of them has a school and a line of buildings. So, as we were in France, I asked him, dude, I've not seen you buy anything for your family. Don't you have a family? Then he said, Sim, I don't come here to shop for the children. I said, okay. So I shopped for myself. Then my boss also gave me to go shop for all his children. Then when he saw the suitcases, he was like, this is when he remembers and says, okay, Sim, spare time. I'm giving you 100 euros for yourself, so that and then money also to shop for all my children. I went, shopped for him, and brought the what? The suit. But I'm trying to show you how much people don't think about their families. Yet it is important, because family is what gives you comfort after a stressful day. Okay? So as you plan your family, always have that in mind. Is this nigger the guy I'm going to talk to every day? Every day of my life, I come back to him, like it or not, whether annoyed or not. This is the nigger I'm going to look at. If he doesn't qualify, do not. Okay? If he's talking about a lot of trash, just imagine listening to trash for all the 20 years, 30 years you are going to remain with him or her. So, that is family. Okay? Let us look at health goals. You must know your health status. It is important to know your what? Your health status. You must know your blood group. Okay? Organized families will never give you their daughter until you've done a blood test. Not only for HIV, but also for the blood group and so many other things. Because some blood groups are not compatible with others in marriage. Scientists know this. There are some people with chronic diseases. And sometimes they are blinded with love and they don't want to. So you must know your health status. You must have an exercise routine. You must know your body mass index. Gone are those days where people make their stomachs dusty bins. Everything they come across, they eat. Before they know it, they can't carry themselves. Hygiene. When you grow into the life of work, You will need a health routine whereby you do a routine wellness check just to find out how healthy you are. Because a health mind works with a health body. Okay? There was an Indian superintendent of police who wrote a book and said that for you to be successful in the police career, you must train and look 10 years younger than your actual age. Okay? So what is your exercise routine? As people are going to jog, you are sleeping. As people sweat a bit, you say those ones are stubborn. So, as you age, this catches up with you. I have seen people who get hypertension at 18 years. That is not acceptable for patriots like you. So you must have health what? Goals. Okay? You must have health goals. Let us look at religious goals. These are goals that answer questions related to religion. Psychologists say where human reason stops, we supplicate to God. Isn't it? Whenever your reasoning stops, whenever you are hardened up, the answer is, so you go, some of you go to pastors to think for you. Others go to church priests. Others go to sheikhs. Others speak to God directly. Isn't it? Religious goals must be set and ask yourself questions. How much religion should I know about my? How much should I know about my religion? What is important for me in my religion? This is key. I've seen youngsters who pray to God to get jobs, but they go for overnight in churches, and during the day they are sleeping because they are so tired. Then you wonder when they will ever look for what to do. So who is confusing the other? Is it you or God? So what I'm trying to say, you must learn to create time for your religion. Okay? And say, I will have this time for my religion. You must have knowledge of your religion. Learn those things you need to know in order to have a life balance. Am I communicating? At least for me, I know how to pray the 5 times a day. I know when to supplicate to God when I'm hardened up, and somehow these things work. Somehow these things what? When you are getting challenges and you go to Mecca for 1 year, once a year, you come back and you see even people who never paid you are calling you. They start paying. But you can't make religion your daily job unless you have elected that it is a what? A job. But you must get those aspects that you need. Okay? Because religion is the guideline of discipline. Isn't it? There is a saying, Mukutya Mukama Megasokera. So, you must create time for your religion. Okay? So, we've spoken about economic goals, political goals, family goals, health goals, religious goals, social goals. We live in societies. You must define how much time you are going to give social causes. How much money are you going to give for social causes? How do you want society to see you? Okay? Don't let society define who you are. You are better than society. And you can change societies. Where are you spending most of your time with? Where do you choose to hang out in the evenings? All these speak to your personal development. I hope I'm communicating. So these are the questions you must ask yourself when it comes to social interaction. Then educational goals. When you are setting educational goals, ask yourself, how much should I study? Do you want to stop at the first degree, master's degree, PhD, or you don't want to study any degree? I have seen people who get the degree here and then they migrate, get another degree in the US just to live a better life. Okay? So the question of how much should I study and why has to work in consonance with all these other goal dimensions. Am I communicating? So I have seen people that study too much only to remain where they are. He wants to be a permanent secretary, so he goes for a postgraduate diploma in procurement, a postgraduate diploma in finance, a postgraduate diploma in human resource. The man has like 4 postgraduate diplomas. We had a president in one of the African countries who was said to have 9 degrees. Okay? Another was said to have 12. So you define, okay, how much you want to study and where is it going to lead you. Okay? Then the other one is the recreational goals. After 5 years, what is it that you will do to make you appreciate your struggle? Okay? How often do you relax after a very long year of hard work? Is this making sense to you? I have seen people, after a year, they want to travel back to the village, okay, for holidays, but they get so tired. But what I'm saying, recreation requires you at least to travel, to study as you relax. At the end of it all, have I achieved what I want to achieve? When I was setting my dreams and goals, I used to tell myself, in Africa, I must go to historical countries like Egypt, okay? South Africa, specifically Cape Town, okay? Rwanda, because of the genocide. Then Kenya, because of the Mombasa port. Then Tanzania, because of the Mombasa port. I grew up wanting to see, how does a port look like? Okay? Then when I went to study European history and I loved it, I was like, but this man called Napoleon and France, I must go to France and see how it looks like. So as you work harder, there is that recreation that drives you even more. And as I speak now, I have moved to all these countries I dreamt of. And I've taken almost my wife to all these countries that I've dreamt of. Then recently when I came back, you want to say something? Why are you putting up your hand? Then recently when I came back, this daughter of mine said, but Daddy, every time you go out, when will you ever take us? So now I have to even work harder to buy more tickets and also take them. That is life. When you set goals, you are driven to work harder and harder. Okay? But if you do not set the goals, everything will be enough. Isn't it? Mahatma Gandhi said, nature can satisfy a man's dream, a man's needs, but nature can never satisfy man's greed. Nature can satisfy man's needs, but nature can never satisfy man's greed. Every man can eat, mashallah. But if you want chicken at least once a week, you must work harder. Isn't it? If you want meat, you must work smarter. And you must have defined goals. Okay? Now, having looked at that, it summarizes goal dimension and personal development. Let me tell a story. I had a visitor recently, and this visitor was from US. While here, he was raised in a good family, but not as good as he wanted it to be. He went to Makerere. He was a very brilliant young man, studied dentistry on merit, not being paid for. He graduated and realized that dentistry in Uganda could not pay him the amount of money he wanted to earn. Yet, his father even had a small hospital in one of the Ugandan town centers, where he worked as the medical superintendent for a cool 2 years, giving his colleagues jobs. He just woke up one day, decided to leave, because he envisioned himself differently. His vision was what? Differently. He grew up telling his siblings, I'll be rich. I'll be what? So he elected to go to the United States of America. He worked as a laborer for a full 1 year, carrying cargo, loading trucks, but he's a gura. So he got money, went and applied to study dentistry in America. He sat for admissional exams and failed them the first year. Okay? He went back. He waited until when they are sat again. Following year, sat again and passed. When he passed, he made choice of which university he wants to go to. He elected to go to New York School of Dentistry. Do you know why? Because as a young man, he had studied about New York as one of the biggest cities in the world. So don't say the geography you studied in primary does not have relevance. It's you who doesn't have relevance in the knowledge you studied. Who never studied about the world biggest traffic jam? They used to tell us it's in where? So your destination dream should be, don't take these things for granted. You must work hard and go and see. Is it true? South Africa has the best roads in Africa. That is what means personal development. Learning something, working hard to get it. Anyway, back to his story. He joins New York University of Dentistry in New York University for another 4 years. And he emerges as the best student of his class. And he studied with Clinton's daughter. But Clinton was not the president by then. He was ex-president. So he was recruited by the best dentistry practice in America with 500 branches by the time he joined. Today, it has 2,000 branches. When he worked for 5 years, he started his practice. Okay? And he elected to go in America where the president sits. That is Washington, District of Columbia. That is where he started his practice. On the building where he started his practice, there are 7 dental practitioners. Okay? I want to tell you, he's the best. Today, he celebrates making $1.5 million every year before tax. Meaning, after tax, he will walk away with about 800,000 US dollars. He's a Ugandan like you and me. You've never heard of him, okay? But he comfortably pockets about 20,000 US dollars per month for himself, and even more on a good day. Because in America, a person can come and say, I want you to change my smile, and I'm paying 30,000 US dollars. And then the man will struggle, work on your teeth, 2 hours today. After a week, you come back, invest another 6 hours until when you get a perfect what? And then you pay 30,000 in Ugandan shillings. That is how much? Multiply by 4,000. It's about 120 what? Being made by one what? So what am I trying to say? Personal development requires you to dream. And only you can live your dream. Okay? If you dream as a guilty president that you are going to drive a border, so it will be. Okay? If you dream as a guilty president today that you will get into the parliament of Uganda, you will live to see that you enter what? So the choice is not mine, it is yours. The choice is yours. Now the question is, why do we always dream and we never live to see our dreams? The pertinent answer is, sometimes it is due to lack of financial literacy. Okay? Sometimes it's due to lack of financial literacy. So now, remember our topic was financial literacy for personal development. Now we have looked at personal development. Now we want to look at financial literacy. Why do people fail to achieve personal goals? Okay? Why do people stagnate despite earning a salary? You've not earned salaries, although some of you are earning already. But there are people you see earning a salary, but they continue to stay the same. Isn't it? So it is because of lack of personal development and partly due to lack of financial literacy. So in other words, if you have financial literacy, personal development, it can help you achieve your goals. Before I take you into financial literacy. Let me give you some introduction to financial literacy. One, I'll start by an example of Usain Bolt. You know him. Who is he? Who wants to tell me? Somebody nearby. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. My name's Simwogerere Gonzaga from East African Polytechnic, Chambogo. Usain Bolt is one of the world best athletes. So he runs, he was running 100 meters, 200 meters, sprints and relays.
Thank you, well said. He was a sprinter from Jamaica. Thank you very much. Usain Bolt is said to have participated in 3 Olympics championships. Okay? He was on track, competitive running. He was on track for 2 minutes. Okay? And in the 2 minutes, he made $119 million. Okay? And this can be regarded as speed for money for each second was $1 million per second. But to be able to attain that, to get that, he trained for more than 25 years. For 25 years, he was being prepared to have that. What are you being prepared for? What is it that you look at achieving in 25 years from now? Is it making some sense? Number 2, let me give you a preamble of the changing face of the economy in Uganda and money management. And I'll use my area of comfort, that is Makerere University. Okay? Years back, in 1980s to 1990s, going to Makerere meant free accommodation, free scholastic material, you were paid, everything was free. Okay? A decade after, the rest was cost shared. You see how changing things can become? A decade after, you could go to Makerere and pay for everything that people used to get free. Today, you can go to Makerere or you can go to various universities in Uganda and borrow everything. Did you know that? And borrow everything. You'll be given a loan for tuition. You can be given a loan for accommodation and upkeep. And you can be even given a loan for scholastic material. You can even be given a loan for upkeep. Are you getting the difference? The question is, when you get all that, how do you get to pay the money? The story of the young Ugandan who went to New York School of Dentistry involved a part where Aga Khan had promised him tuition and he never gave it to him. But because of his sheer brilliance, the university got a lender to lend him $300,000 for him to complete his study. But after graduating, 300 becomes pocket change. Because he was able to pay it, I visited him and I joked and said, "Man, you are living our dream." Because the ninja had packed a BMW, a Ferrari, and a Mercedes-Benz at the age of 38 years. So I was like, dude, what you are doing is my retirement. But you are enjoying it now. Okay? So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that the world has changed. And because it has changed, you need to appreciate and understand financial literacy. There was a study done in Kenya. And in that study, they realized that out of every 100 people that are employed, by the time of retirement, 49% of them are dependent on family and friends. Okay? 29 after the study were dead. 29% were, 12% were broke, and only 5% were still working, and 1% was rich. If I asked by show of hands, how many of you want to be in the percentage of 1 when you join work, but by the time of retirement, you want to be among those in number 1? By show of hands. This is good. At least you are being realistic. Some others have not even been following, so I will excuse that. But richness is not for everyone. Okay? Richness is not for. Richness is for those few who have opted and elected to be what? Because it's only you who can work hard to be what? That's why I gave you a story of a certain young man who chooses to abandon his job, go somewhere else, redo a degree, because he wants to be what? Because he was feeling like those people who earn $1 million. He wanted to earn $1 million in a year. And who knows, he will even earn $1 million in a month. And who knows, he can even earn $1 million in a day. Because there are those people who collect $1 million in a what? In a day. So the choice is yours. How many want to be among number 5? 5%. They are still working, okay? If they were employed, they are still relevant even after retirement. By show of hands. They don't know. Okay, we can continue with those that are. Now, let me draw your attention to the signs that show that you lack financial what? Literacy. What is it that will show you lack financial what? Literacy. Number 1, if you have a poor saving culture. Poor saving what? It's a big sign of lack of financial literacy. You've seen people, they earn some money or they get free money, but the way they get it is the way they even say it was not enough. Isn't it? Haven't you seen people around you coming from the so-called well-to-do families? They are given pocket money, which is more than your tuition. But before the semester ends, they come to you to borrow. They don't save. That is a big sign of lack of financial literacy. Too much debt and credit. Too much debt and what? What is the difference between debt and credit? Of course, credit comes with interest, but not every debt comes with interest. When you go to a bank, you get money with interest. But you can borrow from a friend. And what happens? It can cost you a friendship. When you don't return that money, it costs you the what? The friendship. When you borrow from your parents or your siblings and you don't pay, they start looking at you otherwise. Again, if you are always borrowing, I've seen people who are working, they borrow from the bank, they borrow from money lenders, they come at work, they ask for salary advance. After salary advance, they even borrow from colleagues they work with. And sometimes they think they are smarter. When the colleague catches fire, wants his money, he will ask for an advance to pay the colleague. Does it take away the advance? You are still in borrowing. Also, a big sign of lack of financial literacy. Increasing poverty is also another sign of lack of financial literacy. Have you ever wondered why some of those primary teachers you used to admire have remained the same ever since you left primary? You are now going to graduate. You go back and you're like, guy, you know your badge. Isn't it? It means they have been making wrong choices for their what? Their money. It's another sign of lack of financial literacy. Failure to pay your due bills. What does it mean? Let me send man on your phone. Toteka koba manja. Airtel yampola. Soko lindeka nkuwe simu endala gyobokola ki? Why do you borrow and you can't pay? I have seen friends who, when electricity people come to their houses, they set dogs free to attack the what? The electricity billers. Even water. I have seen a couple who almost lost their marriage because of failure to pay DSTV. These are realities of life. You are going to get married, not so? You'll either marry a man who is, because you're in the kolamu, or you'll get married. And you'll see this. Okay? So, again, a sign of not lack of financial literacy. Increased lack of creativity. Haven't you seen people, for them, they are not creative. They don't have side hustles. He looks at his one job, waits for a salary, and people must live within the what? The salary, which is not bad. But is salary enough? Salary can never be what? And then there are those people who keep lamenting. For me, I started a business and I failed. Others will start telling you, I cannot start a business to give revenue all my earnings. URA will take all what? As in, people have reasons for not starting their own what? Businesses, isn't it? If you are the kind, you are at a university, you have never thought of anything income generating. At my university, I was the best barber. I even had the people who could pay me for a whole semester to trim their hair. But I don't have to start a salon now. I'm bigger than that. What are you doing in your university? You just wake up, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep. Sign of lack of financial literacy. You have to create an earning, like it or not. People who have started businesses in their schools have appreciated the role and importance of communities they are in. And you can only get rich from your neighbor. Did you know that? Find something to sell him. If you don't, you vanish. Okay? So if you lack any creativity and innovation that creates income, then you lack financial what? Corruption. I was told people that get corrupt, they don't intend to get corrupt. But they borrow money from public funds, and by the time they audit, they have not paid. Then I wonder, if you fail to manage your own money, where do you get the courtesy to touch money that is not yours? Does it make sense? It doesn't. So I'm trying to say, if you are corrupt, it's a sign of lack of financial literacy. You've seen people that touch guilty money, isn't it? Then you start complaining about that money, and then he fails to explain the whereabouts of the guilty what? Sign of lack of financial. Am I communicating now? There are some examples and points my learners like Mpabaise have given me and said, when you're talking about financial literacy, please talk about these ones. They say too much beer is a sign of lack of financial literacy. I don't take it. Those of you who take it, is it true? Too much what? Then they say, too many women for one man is also a sign of lack of financial literacy. Then I asked them, how about too many men for one woman? Is it financial literacy? Does it come with something? I don't know because I'm not a woman. Okay? Let us look at other things. These are my first learners who are giving me these points I'm giving you. They said changing of cars after a short period of time is also a sign of lack of financial literacy. Now, the real value for a second-hand car, if it is not four-wheel drive, would be about 5 years. If it's a four-wheel drive, it would at least be 10 years. That's when you can get the real what? The real value. So if you see people driving the number, they call it kanamba. Every number that comes on is the one they want to drive. Check their financial what? Literacy. Not so long, after a short period of time, they are struggling. Okay? Collecting and accumulating many electronic gadgets. You know, it used to challenge me. I went to some people's houses. You find a man has a television in the children's room, has a television at the maid's area, has a television in the sitting room and the dining. Then you wonder. Then they will tell you a lot of stories I hear. My children want to watch something, and then my maid, and then I remember when I had just gotten married to their mother, she bought a TV and put it in the bedroom. Honey, no more going to watch soccer from the bar. You sit here, we can watch movies together. La, 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 la. You know how women can have their reasons. Of course, as a man, I was looking at this woman with an opportunity of putting me where? Down. So of course, as a smart man, I started looking for a better reason to give her that is justifiable in her own understanding. When you want to win someone as a manager, you try to think like him, think like her. Okay? So I went to her and said, you know what, love? This TV is very good, but we have stopped looking at what our children are watching. They can start watching things that are not what? Good. I'll stop going to the bar, but you can allow me go once in a while. At least one day a week. One day a week. Because it's not about soccer alone. Also hanging out with the niggers. Hanging up with the what? With the big boys. Now, all these other things that I talked about, she never understood. But she only understood one aspect. What are my children watching? You get the point? So from that point, I weakened her spot and she sold off the TV. So today, we have one big screen in our sitting room. And I compete for a remote with this one and the other one and many others who are not here. So they know what daddy watches and I know what they watch. Do you want them to tell them, you want them to tell you what daddy watches? You want to tell them what I watch? You want to tell them? What do I watch on TV?
He watches football and movies.
So I still watch the soccer, but using one what? Television. So anyway, the issue is how do you choose to use your money better, isn't it? You find somebody, he has an iPad, a laptop, a pager, a smartphone, and to make it worse, some people have more than one smartphones. All these for what? You know, before the coming of the smartwatches, you could find somebody all the time buys a very expensive watch. He has the expensive watch and the phone with him all the time on his body, and both of them tell time. Both of them what? Then you wonder, do you need both? So, accumulating and collecting many electronic gadgets is a sign of lack of financial literacy. Politics and overspending in polls. I'm not a politician, but at least I know somebody who got a loan using her family land, and she was beaten. Then she called me to buy the land. And by then, I bought each acre at 300,000. Bagamba gwe kola sente zo sirike. Eh? Jokers will look for you and you win big what? Things. Okay? Unplanned entertainment. Also a sign of lack of financial what? Every time there is something to happen, you go. And such people will tell you, for me when I go for such things, I don't spend money. But you are spending your time. You are spending your what? Your valuable time. You can't wake up at 5 when you are going out every night, can you? And yet the most productive time is that time in the morning. Am I communicating? So you must learn how to manage your time. Unnecessary personal freedom. You are in school all the time. Your timetable is, I wake up late, lecture room, food, sleep. Okay? Lecture room, food, maybe praying area, and then sleep. If you are not sleeping, you are watching. You know every best telenovela on TV. And you can comfortably narrate at the point they are. You know every Indian movie that is on Vogue. And you can even narrate where they are and where they came from. So life is good. You never think of what can I do to add some value in my pocket. Okay? If you are the kind, it's a big sign of lack of financial literacy. People who make a difference in their lives don't use their time like that. In a marathon, what is financial literacy? Financial literacy has so many definitions, but I'll pick out one definition. Financial literacy refers to one's ability to understand and appreciate income, money management. Financial literacy is one's ability to understand and appreciate income, money management, saving, investment, spending, and credit in making personal related finance decisions. One's ability to understand and appreciate income, money management, saving, investment, spending, and credit management in making personal finance related decisions. The finance decision you make can either grow you or kill you. The finance decision you make can either grow you or kill you. I want to assure you, every one of you will have an opportunity to make money. And from all of you, there are millionaires seated amongst you. There are also very broke people that will die very poor, and they are seated next to you. You know why? It is about the decision you make in what? In life. It's about the decision you make in what? Otherwise, everyone gets an opportunity to make what? To make money. So I have mentioned 6 pertinent aspects of financial literacy. And I said one of them is income, the other is money management, the other is saving and investment, spending, and credit management. The decisions you make about those aspects is pertinent and key in defining your life. If you make the correct decisions, you enjoy. You can smile like the face in the middle. If you make wrong decisions, you can never smile. What is income? Income refers to that money you own. Income refers to money that you have control over. Income refers to a salary you earn after providing a service over a period of time. Income refers to all the collection or in earnings that you make after a period. Some people have a daily income. Because they have something to sell on a daily and have what? Income. Others earn a salary. It is income. Am I communicating? So, income, once well treated, can lead you to something else. Okay? Income spoiled can also lead you to agony. Income also involves money you get for free. Okay? I remember one time I was walking in Simwogerere and I met my uncle when I was still at University like you. Then he asked me, oyagala nkuweeyo sente mmeka? How much do you want me to give you? I'll never forget that question, because it challenged me so much. I didn't want to ask for too much because I knew he would judge me. I didn't want to ask for so little because he had asked me to mention how much he wanted me to I wanted him to give me. So I told him a figure, and without any question or thought, he pulled out money from his pocket and gave me that figure. I was overwhelmed. What I did, I ran very fast and bought clippers, electronic clippers. Said, yes, I have business now. He gave me enough to buy what? Electronic clippers. And that is how I became a barber in my university. So every day I had some head to cut. Every day. So, the decision. But the money came as a free what? The choice you make can either make you or kill you. Repeat after me. The choice you make can either make you or the choice you make can either. So be careful with the choices. Be careful with the money you earn and the choice you make for that what? Of course, knowing where you're coming from and knowing where you want to. That's why I said everybody has had an opportunity to make what? I know people who burn 500,000 in one night. Don't you? 500. He gets it free. He says, twazikoze. Then the next thing, he has, and in Uganda, this is the easiest. Okay? So, what can you do to dramatically change your income? One, always get something on the side. Always get something on. What is it that you have for sale? You must have something to sell. You must have a service to sell. Uganda is still a virgin country. All of you can fit alongside us. Most of you are going to become richer than him. And we cannot stop you. Okay? When we realize that you have hit the jackpot, we join you. We join you. Okay? So we want to see those people who will be determined to make it in what? In life. And the beginning is by respecting your income. Money management. Money management refers to the control of your own money. If you cannot manage money, money will manage you and you become a fool, and his money who part before they meet. If you cannot manage your money, you become a fool, and his money who part before they. This is very bad. Okay? Money is so tempting. And money has rules. Money has what? The rules are in this book, but I'll read you some few. Okay? Rule number 1, money is a secret. Money is a what? If you get money and you start telling everyone how rich you are, you can't keep it. You can't what? Money is jealousy. It only keeps to those people who love it. Am I communicating? So if you don't love money, money will not love you. Money is not like a person who you annoy and you explain. Am I communicating? When you annoy somebody, you can explain. Money is too jealous. When you annoy it, it will go and you will never get it again. So you must appreciate that money is what? You must learn to change your attitude about money and income. Okay? By changing attitude, you may be forced to be a little mean. But we call in financial literacy appreciating your income. Okay? You appreciate that this money is mine and it is my responsibility to make it bigger money. That is the rule. That is the rule. Stop doing what you are doing with money. If you have been overspending the money, learn to stop. Okay? Learn to what? And rethink of how you can make better of your money. Okay? Stop spending in future. What does it mean to spend in future? Buying things on hire purchase. You book, you have not taken it, you keep paying. Am I communicating? Pay your bills on time, don't pay them ahead of time. I have seen people who want to pay rent for a year. It means you have nothing to do with your what? That's why you are paying rent for a full year. Pay for the semester, and if you have a lot of money, you can use it to create more money, and then what? Am I communicating? Make a list of your essentials. We always confuse necessities for niceties. We always confuse necessities for niceties. Differentiate what makes you feel nice and what you actually need to survive. You only have to concentrate on what you need to survive. Every level of survival will speak to niceties. Am I communicating? If your income level is still low, you are allowed to sleep cheap. Okay? But if your income level is still low and you want to sleep expensive, then you are a fool and your money. I have seen people earn 800,000 and they want to sleep in a house of 400,000. That is madness at noon. For heaven's sake, we are talking about rent. We've not even spoken about transport, feeding, clothing, which are also very essential in what? In life. So instead, you can get the 400, share it with 2 other people, so that you are 3 and you are spending a minimum of 150. Then you use the money for something else income generating. When it increases, then you can go to a better what? So this is what we call money management. Learn to know your essentials. This book has a study that we made about a person who was earning above 1 million and one who was earning below 500. How you allocate your money to shelter, food, transport, saving, entertainment, investment, and clothing. How much do you appropriate for each? What percentage? And we have tested it for years, and trust me, it works. Okay? So it's up to you to see what to do. Never walk with money unceremoniously, because it will force you to find the ceremony. Now we are so challenged that we have money on us all the time. Okay? So we need to even be more cautious. It's not like then times where it was very difficult to access the bank. And keeping money in the bank was a way of securing your money. Today, you have money in the bank, but the bank is in your palm. You see what I mean? You have money saved on your Airtel, MTN, how is it called? Airtel money, and then and even the bank, online banking is also on what? So be careful. Financial literacy requires that you carry only what you need. So in other words, don't go around showing people what you have as a balance on your mobile money. Okay? And you must have a budget that every day, this is my budget, this is my income. Always one arm must be heavier than the other. Find out what takes away your money. Find out what takes away your. Recently, somebody posted a picture during the end of year, and he said, this is lost bank. Lost bank. He referred it to women. You saw that thing. Let's continue. You must learn to love your money. Because if you don't, nobody will love it for you. And finally, learn to talk to your money. Talking to money means appreciating the value that you have and looking around for what you can do with the value you have. Because every money can be valuable. Every money can be what? Very valuable. Every money can be valuable. So learn to talk to your money. Just giving you a simple example. Somebody gave me money which was not of value to him. But it could be that he was investing in me because he got problems, and today he can pick up a phone and call me and say, please send me 100,000. And I gladly send it to him without even asking what he needs the money for. One, because I know exactly the life he's going through. Number two, he was generous to me when I least expected. Okay? So learn to talk to your money. To him, the money he gave me was useless. But like I said, he could have invested, knowingly or unknowingly. But for me, it was a jackpot. So every money you have can be your what? Your jackpot. Number 3 is saving. Saving, according to Keynesian economists, is deferred consumption. Okay? Saving is choosing to keep money for future use. We know saving, isn't it? Saving is that money you put aside for a reason. But these are the reasons why people don't save. Number 1, they don't save because they lack examples of those that have what? That have saved. People don't save because they fear pain. Saving is a what? Do you know what it means putting money aside that is yours, but you can't touch it? It takes discipline, dedication, and commitment. You have money, it is yours, but you can't touch it. That is saving. So people fear that pain. People don't save because they lack clear objectives. People don't save because they lack clear what? They wonder, why do I have to save? They think what they have is not enough. Do you know what happens to people who are focused? They save before they consume. Unfocused people save what is left of consumption. Do you get the difference? But can consumption ever be enough? Do you remember the fundamentals of economics? Who remembers them? There are how many? There are 3. One is scarcity, and the other is opportunity cost and choice. Resources are always scarce. And because of that scarcity, you must make choice. And when you make choice, there must be alternative foregone. Don't study and leave this in class. They will affect you in your whole life. They will affect you in your whole what? When we are invited to companies to go provide solutions as consultants, we first look at the resources. Make the resources scarce so that people can take what? Choice. So when you make the resources scarce, they will start seeing that this person is working. Because you first tell them, stop spending. Let us first audit your company. Stop what? When you stop spending but the income is steady, they will start seeing money. And then people will start complaining. There is a company I went to and it had salesmen. I told the director that you what? Stop paying fuel for all the salesmen. Let us see what happens for 1 month. They still sold. They made even more money. And yet the marketers were not going to the what? To the field. So he learned something and said, no, you know what you have saved me? You have saved me 600,000 shillings per day. So I now know who can work as a salesman and who cannot work. Then we even came up with the parameters of a salesman that works. So, saving is key. It's only when you save that you can have dispensable income to invest. Okay? What is investment? Investment refers to that something you allocate money to for more income. In simple terms, investment does not require you to come from a rich family. Investment does not require you to have a salary. Investment requires you to have a head. There is a general who loves that word, capital, and relates it to decapitate. These army people have a saying of decapitate. What does it mean to decapitate? Decapitate. Let my brother here explain for you decapitate. He has explained. Okay? To decapitate is to cut off your what? Your head. So if you say you lack capital, it means you don't have. Means you don't have what? Otherwise, where there is a will, there will always be. Once you have a brilliant business idea, money will what? Even if you don't have a brilliant business idea, try to look at the little you have and ask yourself, what can I buy to sell and earn more? From the little you what? You have. I have seen people who use the little they have in whatsoever way and earn more, because that is what you need. You start by managing the little you have, and then you learn how to manage the much you will get. There is no way you can manage volumes before you manage pence and simple small shillings. There is no way. So, saving helps you start a business. Okay? And investment is simply allocating money to a reason that can give you more what? Income. So you don't have to have a lot of money to invest. You only need an idea and the demanding desire to make more what? More money. And the only way to learn an investment is by starting one. I've been reminded that I'm supposed to stop. So let me summarize, and we call it a day, but you can take the notes, and also whatever you feel I should talk about, write it as a question. I'm going to leave more minutes for questions. So I was saying investment can only be learned by starting an investment. Let me summarize investment with a story. Some time back, they called people like you, university students, and took them to Kapchora. I went there and made a similar presentation. 1 year after, as I was in Guru in a supermarket. How is it called? Kenjoy? Sinabel. Very late. Somebody comes and asks me, "Are you Mr. Simwogerere?" So I was in shock. Then I asked him, "Do I look like the person you know?" He said, "Yes, you look exactly like him." Then I said, "I am the one." So I was like, "Okay, sir, what is it that you know about me?" He says, "Oh, no, nothing, but you taught me in Kapchora. And when you taught me, I went and did something with my life. You come. This is my product. This is my product. This is my product," in a supermarket. This young man was selling wine. Okay? The story he gave me, and he allowed me to narrate it, he said that after that lecture, to lend him wine, to take to Guru, sell, and he would pay the what? The money. Okay? The uncle was skeptical. So what the boy did, the first round, he paid 50% of the amount of wine he wanted to take. So he took it to Guru, supplied it to a few places, and they paid him. So when they paid him, he sent the money, and the man sent the what? The wine. By the time I met him, he had wine more than what the uncle to his friend was giving him. You get the point? Now, he was already an investor. 5 years thereafter, he calls me and tells me, you know what? Business is booming. I bought a car. Now I pick my wine and bring it. He had bought a super custom, removed the chairs, puts the boxes. After removing the boxes, puts back the what? The chairs. Where did he get the capital? Did he get the capital from his uncle? Did he look for a rich uncle? A rich... If you lack capital, it means you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in your what? I found another young man. Oh, no, time has gone. After investment, in this book, there are how can you start a successful business, characteristics of investors. It has 80 business ideas and how you can plan them. It has why do investments fail. I think all this information you need to run a what? An investment. To some people, this is a Bible of financial literacy. How you can ruin your business. Okay? So when you invest, there are booms. Okay? When you start investment, trust me, investment is like a game. When you start winning, you never stop. You keep the winning team. And when you win, you enjoy the joy of winning. However, as you win, you must be spend savvy. That's why in the model we have spending after investment. During COVID, we made a lot of money in poultry feed. As people were at home, the company was making a lot of what? Of money. Today, everybody is selling poultry what? So that money we spent, that money we got, must work now. Okay? To keep the business what? Running. That's why it is important when you invest to be spending savvy. So what is spending? Spending is simply parting with your money. Spending is simply disposing of your income. Unfortunately, it's only in Uganda where so many people spend money they've not earned, to buy things they do not need, to please people that don't love them. I'll say it again. It's only in Uganda where so many people spend money they've not earned to buy things they do not need, to please people that don't love them. I was told by a young man that, kubaho nyawo. You know, one time my girlfriend bipped me. I sent her money that I had borrowed, thinking, munange, she was thinking about me. After sending her money, she bipped again. Then I borrowed a phone to call her. When I called her, she said, Munang, I was beeping you to thank you for the money that I have received it. When he hung up, he kept wondering, who is she going to call using my airtime now? Okay? So, when you think spending, okay, first of all, think about money that you have earned, okay? Spend it on things that you need, to please people that do love you. I have seen people who buy four-wheel drive cars, but they never go for safari. Again, I'll crown spending with one story of a general who allowed me to say this story. As a soldier, he was posted to Arusha to work for 5 years. While there, because he was not thinking about spending as something that can grow or kill him, he told himself and set goals that every month he will have to buy a new suit. Every what? So there were those months where he had to borrow money to buy a suit. Okay? After 5 years, he was posted back to Uganda and given a job that needed an army uniform, UPDF uniform. How many suits did he come back with? He was there for 5 years. Every month he was buying a what? So how many pairs of suits did he come back with? Now when he came back with these suits, he didn't have where to keep them. The wardrobe was smaller. When he wanted to give the suits away, okay, not everybody he wanted to give to had his size. When he wanted to sell them, they were embroidered with his name, Kasura. Okay? So who buys Kasura who is not even a designer? So he started looking at the suits, okay, and justified the fact that people spend money they've not earned to buy things they do not need to please people that do not love them. He was in Arusha on foreign land, and he wanted to prove that he's one of the smartest what? Who wants to prove him as the smartest? Do you get my irony? You find young men wanting to own shirts that they can put on pins from one wall to another. Do you need them? Do people want to see how many shirts you change? Who bothers about that? So it is the mindset. So as you think about spending, always remember to spend money you have and to buy things that you need, to please people that do love you. Okay? Lastly, credit. Credit is money borrowed to make you poor, more than the actual amount acquired. Credit is money you borrow to make you poor, more than the actual amount acquired. But before we go to credit, let us go through the rules of spending. Rules of what? Rule number 1, spend only what you have earned. Rule number 1, spend only what you have. Rule number 2, spend less than what you earn. Rule number 1, spend only what you have earned. Rule number 2, spend less than what you earn. Am I communicating? Never make no purchase when you are sad. Make no purchase when you are sad. There was a study made that showed that people make so many purchases when they are sad. Simply, they got people, they started watching, they went to a place like Cineplex, where they watch movies. Is it called Cineplex? Cinemax? Acacia Mall has what? Cine what? That one. So they started observing people coming from a mood-killing movie and people coming from an interesting movie. And they watched their buying and purchase patterns. Trust me, people who are coming from an entertaining movie were coming out and saying, these guys are a joke. You see how it was really nice as they walk away. Then people who were coming from a mood-killing movie could get out and were like, this man has suffered. Can you imagine somebody going through all that? First, give me a beer. Life can decide to be short. So people who were coming from a sad movie were making a lot of purchases. Yet, the other side, people were coming out happy, laughing, and going away. So, financial literacy requires that never make no purchase decision when you are sad. Okay? When you are sad, try carrying small amount of cash and also transfer your attention to something else. Credit. Credit is borrowing money to make yourself poor more than the actual amount acquired. Okay? What happens when your credit goes bad? Go to your bank and retalk extension of your credit to change your credit structure. Never run away from people that demand you money. Okay? Sit with them and discuss. It is so funny that in the money world, a person who you have not paid on time will come and bang the tables. But the moment you pay him, he will come back and ask for more business. The moment you pay him, enmity ends. The moment you pay him, enmity what? And then you start afresh. So, always pay credit. So I'm ending here by saying today we have spoken about financial literacy for personal development. We started our evening by defining personal development as the development of your own self and the people around you. And we said, for you to define your personal development, you must borrow a leaf from strategy and make your vision, okay? Define your mission, what makes you unique. Set your goals, and even we went into the 7-8 goal dimensions. Then we also went into defining objectives and then activities, and say that people who achieve will always be different in behavior and unique. Okay? And then we said, despite the dream, despite the shaping of your life, most people fail because they lack financial literacy. So we tried to show how can you realize you lack financial literacy. Through science, we looked at some historical figures like Usain Bolt, and we also looked at some study done in Kenya about how people behave by the time of retirement. And we said, for you to have a life that is non-regrettable, you must learn, okay, to appreciate the 6 elements of financial literacy. Because the choice you make about them can either make you or kill you. And we went through the 6 elements of income as money you have control over, money management as a rule that if you fail to manage your money, then money will manage you and you become a fool, and his money who part before they meet. And if you manage money well, then you can save. And we said saving is deferred consumption according to the Keynesian economists. So if you are able to save, you can invest. And we said investment only requires you to attribute money to an income generating activity. Okay? And when you earn, be spend savvy. Because so many people spending money they have not earned to buy things they do not need, to please people that do not love them. Okay? And credit is money borrowed to make yourself poor. So what is it that you are going to use the money for is what matters. But it's not the credit that is bad. Are you getting the difference? Credit is not bad, but the people who borrow are the ones that are what? Are bad. So in summary, the country requires a patriot who defines his life and is able to also live a financially literate life. I welcome questions and we can summarize. As a way of saving time, if you want a book, the girls can come around you.
Course.
I will also stay behind for those of you who want your books autographed.
Now, I know you're raising up your hands, but when he was starting, I think he had requested that people write these questions, yeah? Yes. So we are going to allow like 2 questions that are verbal, but we are submitting this, okay? Such that he starts with them. All right. Okay, let me get a lady. Come.
Yes, a good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Mutiaba Ibra from Soroti University. And my question is, how effective can it be to open up like a small business or an investment in your absentia? Because some of us, like I'm doing a long year course, like a bachelor's in medicine and surgery. It means I'm away for like 6 years, but I would like to open up something, probably at home or in the village. So I'm inquiring like how effective can it be in my absentia, and also which techniques can I use to effectively monitor it? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Makai Victory, and I
First wait, I write Mutiaba's question.
Okay, please.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Like I was saying, my name is Makai Victory, and I am from Kampala International University. In the light of these two, that you mentioned, that is unnecessary withdrawals from our mobile money accounts, and wondering where our money actually goes, as well as spending interested money. Would you kindly share how one would build personal discipline to overcome the above weaknesses? And if it's possible, kindly share a rock bottom story. Thank you very much.
Okay, interesting. I will start with the questions that have been said. Are you giving them another opportunity? Another one question? Okay. Okay.
Excuse me. Do not bring any more questions. These are already many, okay? Some of your questions will be answered through this, I suppose.
How can I start a business when I'm away? Did I get Mutiaba's question right? In summary, how can I start a business when I'm away? Now, the three key points of business are: one, you need to get a business idea. Okay? When you get a business idea, then you must get the right people. When you get the right people, you must set systems. Systems are the ones that help you check the validity of your business. Okay? Then you also put structures. Sorry about that. Now, when you get a business idea, you run an idea that you believe in. The best entrepreneurs get entrepreneurial ideas from the gut. That is what we say. It comes from the gut. What do I feel about this business? If it is something that you like, something that you are passionate about, something that you believe is going to make you money, because you can have faith in a business, but it's not making you money, and it will kill you before it makes you. Okay? So you must also be careful. But back to Mtiaba's question, when you get an idea, you can start with the people you know that are knowledgeable about the business. Those are the people you can use. So if you are busy, one way of doing business is partnership. Okay? Number two is doing business that does not require your involvement. For example, if you have some money, you can buy bonds. If you have some money, you can buy land. Now, somebody will look at me as a madman. I'm a student, you are talking about land. Okay? Trust me, there is still land that you can buy at less than 500,000 shillings a plot. Now, if you ask me where, it is a sign of weakness. You know why? You must learn to talk to your money. If the money you have pushes you, even if you got land in Gulu, I'm just giving an example because I know people in Gulu are so passionate about their land. But again, if you go to places like Kayunga, okay, you can get cheap land and they don't care where you come from. They don't care where you come from. So invest in those solid things where you can keep your money and later you can sell it. If you are too busy for real business, okay, buy something that is how do they call it? Accumulates value, not depreciating value, so that whenever it grows, you also grow your income, okay? Then the Makai Victoria's question. I don't know whether you are satisfied, Mutiaba. I said, number one, appreciate the people you can work with, the systems, the structures, not the income. There are jobs you can do online, okay? You look for your customers online, and all you need, send them your products. When they say deliver, you send a border guy, okay? You don't even have to buy the product. You pick someone who has the product, and then you opt to sell the product for him. Then you send a border guy, pick the product, deliver, they pay you money online. Simple business. And I've seen youngsters do that. Mia has 5. I'm busy, eh? Don't come back again. Apologies. I've learned lessons. I don't think I'll work with them again. So Victoria's question was, how can I develop the discipline of avoiding unnecessary withdrawals? Okay? We said one of the rules of money is love your money. Now, first of all, if you look at the amounts of money they charge you for paying on phone, that is discipline number one. Because when you have money on phone, you are charged to withdraw. If you have money from the bank, you are charged to withdraw and send to a mobile money. Are you trying to appreciate what I'm saying? There is one time I was running a shop in Kayunga, and I used to pay money from my Stanbic bank account to pay my supplier. After 1 week of transactions, because what my discipline was, every sale they make, at the end of the day, when they bank the money onto my account, I will transfer it to my supplier's what? Account. So after like a week, I looked at the expenses that I was charged for doing the transactions. You get it? Now, by the time I had transacted 100 million, I had spent money to pay one month's salary. I said, this is madness. I can't run like this. Now, for you, you can look at it as small money. Every time you send 10,000, they charge you 1,700. Huh? They charge you 500 shillings. Surcharge 500, tax 500, surcharge 1,500. First look at that charge. Eh? It will bring you back to life. The problem is that we are poor, but we want to behave like we are rich. Can you imagine, you the guild officials, when you want money, you write cash requisitions, not so. But when you are expensing your money, you feel it awkward to write, yet it is your money. Are you richer than the university? Toli mwavu. Do you get the irony? So if you want to feel the pain, first look at even the charges they make on your money. There you will realize that these mobile phone companies didn't come here to sleep. They came here to make what? Money. So that is number one. Number two, if you want to get the discipline, learn to talk to your money. Always have like 7 things you can do for your money, however little. Then after, make choice of what you can do with your money. I told you the fundamentals of economics are 3. Scarcity. Is there anybody who has enough? Can you ever have enough? That is why you must make choice. So when you make choice, live by your choice. And when you make choice, there are alternatives you will forego. So that is what brings the discipline. Okay? Not everything that is rosy you must have. Recently I was telling my friend, why don't you buy a Mercedes Benz? Because the man is rich, he makes about 180 million in rent collection only. Do you know what he told me? Sebo, ebya sente tetubizanyiramu. Ebya sente tetukola ki? Tetubizanyiramu. That's what he told me. A car is luxury. And I'm not walking on foot. So the Mercedes will what? Will come. So anyway, the discipline can only be developed if you learn to love your money. Very quickly, I do supply Irish potatoes. If possible, I can supply you. Thank you very much. I will need a sack. If you can put it on either a bus or what, I will receive it. How do you manage your personal finances? And what advice would you give us as guild leaders on achieving financial stability? I think this is a good question. But I won't tell you how I manage my finances, because my finances are totally different. But the principles of managing money, I have mentioned them, isn't it? Now, what advice would you give us as guild leaders on achieving financial stability? Use guild money to invest. Use guild money to invest. When you invest, you make money, you enjoy, you make the guild richer. I remember when I was in Imbale, I told my guild president, we had a university farm. I told him we must plant maize. Then he said, I don't have time. I said, I will have time to supervise the plantation. I think that business is still going on, even up till now. Do you have some people from Islamic University? Is that farm still active, or you are also lacking financial literacy? It is active. If you go into the history, you'll hear of Simwogerere and Masokoi. That was our first baby. Okay? So use the guild collection not only to solve people's problems, but also to make what? Money. That is where you get stability. The only way you can get financial stability is by enlarging income all the time. Okay? Enlarging income all the what? All the time. That's why you see rich people doing multiple of businesses. He fails here, takes money there. He fails there, he takes money to another place. This morning, I received a call from my friend. He told me, you know what, Sim? I have grasped, but my deal finally came up. And you know what deal he had? He was doing truck business, carrying people's cargo. It failed, trucks got spoiled, but he had invested in an area where he had put a yard for his trucks. Now came these Turkish people. When they came, they wanted that yard. He sold it to them. He was back into business because they gave him $2 million. Now he has told me, you need to come, advise me on a farm because you are doing farming in Uganda. So the only way you can have financial stability is by either doing multiple businesses or buying assets that you can quickly turn into money. Am I communicating? So always have ways of having income sources in order to have financial stability. How do you stay ahead of the competition, and what strategies can you use to stay ahead in the market? Very wide question, okay? But you can only stay in the market by selling a competitive product, okay? You can only stay in the market by selling a competitive what? Let the market demand, not you forcing onto the what? Onto the market. So you need to do a market survey. Appreciate the product the market requires. So as long as you can provide a good product, then you can beat the what? The competition. Thank you, Mr. Sim. I have a girlfriend in our village. When I got, whom I got after my senior 6. We have 1-year-old baby boy. The girl stopped in P4. She has a lot of love, care. She's beautiful and clean. However, my family don't want her since she's not educated. She's not willing to leave me. I also leave her, but I don't want her illiteracy. What can I do? Because I don't think we shall be matching. Can we continue? Now, I know this question comes because I spoke about family goals. I spoke about family what? Number 1, this guy did not set his family goals. This guy has 2 options. Either to walk out or keep in. Okay? Both come with consequences. Both come with what? Consequences. And these consequences, he must be willing to he must be willing to attack. Now, if you choose to leave the woman, give her a happy ending. Okay? Settle and promise. You know, I'm calling it quits, but these are the terms. If you are willing to take her up because she's beautiful and clean, but illiterate, teach her. Teach her, then in so many years, she will be able to match with you. As simple as that. Question number 2. If I get 1.5 million, what business can I do to accumulate that money? You can send. Can I have your attention and we conclude this? Now, like I said, I have more than 80 business ideas. Now, 1.5 million is a lot of money. And there is a lot you can do with this money. And if you are interested in trading, I would request you not to invest this money. Go to someone who has a product you can sell in a market you can own and start by that. Okay? And start by that. I'll give you a simple example. I met a young man who was going to Chambogo about 5 years ago. More than 5 years ago. This boy was looking for yellow yolk eggs because he had worked in a quality supermarket. And he had identified an opportunity to sell yellow yolk what? Eggs. So he came looking for me because they told him about a farm that makes yellow yolk what? Eggs. So he started by taking 20 trays and repacking them into 6 and 12 packs. A tray has 30 eggs. Okay? He repacked them into transparent packages in 6 and 12 what? Eggs. Long story short, he comes back to me at a point when I had so many eggs and with less customers. So I told him, you take, because he came with his mother's car. And I asked him, how many trays can you fill in this car? He said, wait, I don't have the money. I told him, if I gave you 100 trays, can you sell them and bring back my money? I took a gamble, because if I didn't, the eggs would go bad. Okay? That started our relationship. Today, he can sell 5,000 trays a week. So he had the little money, okay, and he knew what to sell. So he was challenged to go beyond the quality supermarket and go to other what? Supermarket. Today, quality is not his best market. Master supermarket is now his best, and many others. So business, okay, is defined by your desire to earn more. Okay? Can I pay on mobile money for a book? Kindly share the contact 0701 031 325. 0701 031 325. It brings Simwogerere Ismail Katende. 0701 031 325. One man once said, Ugandans are stupid to the extent that a person can spend 10 years on someone's business but cannot spend an hour on start up their own business. Now, a university graduate doing a business course wants to start up a business of a net income 200 monthly, but she gets a job paying her 400 net income monthly. She's confused on which decisions to make. Which advice or guidance can you give this person? The advice I can give, prioritize your interests. Prioritize your interests. Everything is important. But out of the many that are important, there is one that is urgent. Am I communicating? Everything in life is what? Important. But out of the many that are important, you need one that is urgent. Am I confusing you, or I'm actually getting you to understand? Now, out of everything that you want, you must identify one that will help you break through. If you try it and it doesn't work, try another one until you break through. In summary, that is the answer I can give. Because the question was, how can I? Eh? She's confused on which decision to make. So 200,000 is a lot of money. I tell you, these business ladies won't leave me alone. Won't let me alone. And they told me, one asked me, how much are you going to pay me? You mean I'm worth one book? So anyways, 200,000 is a lot of money. But the ideas are many. You can start a Rolex booth at 200 or even less and make more than 20,000 collection a day. So you know the problem we have in Uganda is white collar against non-white collar. Okay? When I was going to do poultry, my wife reported me to my father-in-law that my husband has gone mad. He's getting all the 3 degrees and putting them in chicken droppings. You know how pathetic that sounds? Omwami wange agudde eddalu akutte degree azitutte mu kalimbwe. But when she started seeing the value of money, okay, she woke up to reality. She fears chicken, but now she knows everything about chicken because she allowed me to tell her stories. Okay? And she supports me all the way. When I have a brooder of 10,000 birds, she will bring support. Sit with me, okay? Leave me food, leave me everything that I need, then she goes back home. The following day, before she goes to work, she brings my changing clothes. Then after there, I can wear white. Isn't it? And then you'll think I'm clean, but I'm dirty where money is. So, everything can make you money, but it's your mindset. The moment you set your mind to making money, there is always a way. 200 is a lot of what? A lot of money. For a mind that is focused. For a mind that is not focused, it is not even enough for lunch. Did you know that? It's not even enough for what? I bought my daughter's breakfast as we were coming here, but I used more than 100,000. Okay? But yes, I can afford it. But 20 years ago, I couldn't. I couldn't. So I could only afford slices of cassava, 100, that I could even complain. Ompadde mutono. But now, because I went giving value to my money, I can now what? Afford. So you also can. And there is a lot you can do with your money. I'm told time is out, but how I wish you had written, yes, there is somebody who has written a number. I will respond to this. These ones without numbers, I will not respond. Or, Sebo Magonzaga will respond to, I hope this is on WhatsApp, but I can also call and respond to your questions. So I'll pick out the questions with the telephone numbers, and I'll respond to them because we are badly off as far as time is concerned. I'm sorry, financial literacy is a going concern. It affects everyone, and the more you talk about it, the more it speaks to your heart, and the better you become in improving your personal finances. But I pray there is another time. If you want to send me a question on WhatsApp, don't ask me for money, because I'll not give it to you. I don't give free money. Even my children know. But if you are asking me a question that requires an intellectual answer, I'll give it free. Secondly, if you want to meet me I have an office at Old Kampala, Plot 5, Coronation Road. I am there on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you pass by, we can chat about a business idea. And then I can help you move on with your life. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, the Uganda we are living in today, requires a financially literate mind. Requires a financially literate what? The world is not getting any simpler. The world is getting more and more busy, and it requires people like you to make more money than we have made. I'll repeat. The world requires people like you to make more money than we have what? So you come and take over us. Become better than us, so that together we can make this country a better place to be. The only way you can make this country a better place is, first of all, love your country. Have a personal development plan. Embrace financial literacy as part of you, and vote wisely. Okay? And finally, vote what? Because the money is where we have peace in the country. Asante sana. I wish you the best. May God bless you. May God bless Uganda.
Is going to answer that person through the same channel. So, ladies and gentlemen,
for example, if you value saving on a daily, there are things that we spend on in Uganda. So there are key habits you can develop. One, you don't have to drive your car every day as a daily habit. If you value saving, am I communicating? You don't have to buy lunch, which is critical in Uganda. We buy lunch. Lunch is a very big spend in Uganda. I have told my wife so many times, okay? And now it's a habit. When she has nothing special to do, we drive one car. But we own more than two. Okay? We drive one what? One car. Then she will leave me at office and continue with one car. And in our backyard, we have an expensive car and a cheaper what? Economic car. So the habits are, you must learn to save on movement because it's a daily habit. Okay? You must learn to save on consumption because you must feed. And one way of saving on consumption is by carrying packed feed. It's more secure, okay? It will not be toxic because you can get poison. People get food poison, isn't it? And it is saving you money of buying lunch. Then 3, you must learn your daily budget for the phone use. Because the phone summarizes so many things. You have what we call social media, talk, and messaging, texting. Okay? So also learn as a habit to have a saving on your phone by developing a discipline that on a daily, I will not spend more than 1,000. Okay? So a month, it will be 31,000, isn't it? So you can attribute 30,000 into talk and data. Am I communicating? It can even be half. And you say a month I will use 15,000 for both. Then it will be incumbent upon you to save on your usage per day. These are simple habits that take a lot of our money. In Uganda, people find it difficult to go by public means. In Europe, it is not difficult at all because of the system of transport. But here, you find it hard. Here, you find it hard to walk, but it's a good habit to time yourself properly, and where you would have spent money on transport to actually, we call it kajogao in Uganda. You tease the distance. You tease the distance, you walk it. You walk it. I was in Europe, Germany recently in November, but I walked from the train station 11 kilometers up to where I was going to meet my business partner. So I arrived early in the morning. My meeting was at 9. I had 2 solid hours. So I looked at this walk as both exercise and saving. You get what I'm talking about? So the best habits: save on transport, save on consumption, save on data, and learn to manage your time. I hope this helps you, Ronnie, and may God bless you. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you tune in again next time.